This is Skilling's Mining Review, your social media community.
Skilling's Mining Reviews Insider is sponsored by
Optiro is a resources consulting and advisory group that provides independent advice, consulting and training to mining and exploration companies, their advisors and investors. Optiro, fresh thinking, fresh growth. Minnesota Power, energy forward. Our vision, delivering 100% carbon-free energy by 2050. Minnesota Power, energy forward.
The Republic of Guinea, located in West Africa, has the world's largest reserves of bauxite, the ore used to produce aluminum. Guinean bauxite reserves are estimated at over 40 billion tons, where more than half, 23 billion tons, are located in Western Guinea. With key projects in the development phase and moving into production soon, Guinea's highly competitive level of output allows it to supply all major world markets. Guinea is poised to become a leading global platform for the production high-grade bauxite. The large mineral reserves, which has mostly remained untapped, is of immense interest for international firms.
Hello and welcome to the broadcast. Today on Skilling's News Moment, we have Zuba Beogungi with us. He is responsible for corporate communications and public relations at Aluminium Mining Limited. Thank you for joining us, Zuba.
Thank you. With great pleasure to have this interview with you.
All right. So the first question for you is, Zuba, what makes Aluminium Mining distinguishable from the rest of the companies? What is the USP of Aluminium Mining?
In fact, Aluminium Mining is a mining company. It works a mining company like any other mining company, but we are specialized in bauxite. And bauxite is the one that they use to produce aluminium. And what the USP aspect of it is that we have a higher grade quality of the bauxite, which means is that the bauxite that we exploit is easier to be transformed into aluminium. So it is not like any sort of ordinary bauxite that we exploit. Now there are different types of bauxite. We have low bauxite, we have high-grade bauxite. So the grade that we have in our bauxite, the quality of it makes it easier for example, for companies, aluminium companies, to be able to transform it and use it. So this is the particular aspect of it.
Okay. Now talking about your company's flagship program, which was Bel Air Mine, which had also been declared by the government of Guinea in 2014 of national interest. So what did you discover in that? And how does it affect the industry at large? How does it benefit the mining industry at large?
The Bel Air Mining is a flagship for Aluminium Mining because Aluminium have 85% of shareholders in the project, and the Guinean government has 15%. So, and the mine is located in a Bofa prefecture in the eastern part of Guinea, and there where the bauxite was discovered. When it was discovered in 2010, there were also feasibility studies and to determine the quality of the bauxite. So in 2014, the National Assembly, the Parliament of Guinea, declared that Aluminium could go ahead with the project, with the Bel Air project, because it was a project of the resources were of good quality, of higher quality, as I just stated. So from 2014 to 2017, so it was time to get funds in order to be able to exploit the bauxite. So in 2017, in February, the construction phase started of the project of the Bel Air project, because you had to leave from the mine 15 miles to the port. So we had to construct our own port. We have to build our own mining road, our haul road, and we have to build an accommodation camp for the employees. So this was done from 2017 to 2018 August. It was the time that we entered into production. That means we started exporting bauxite to China.
Okay. So you just said that you export bauxite to China, is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
China is our client. We have clients in China.
Okay. So how does it impact the industry at large? If you could please share something with me.
Because the quality of the bauxite that we have, it is what that is used in most of the Chinese aluminum companies. They're used in the Chinese aluminum companies. So, and this is what that is used to produce aluminum, from aluminum to aluminum, and aluminum at large now. You see parts of airplanes, part of cars, it's aluminum. In the storage buildings today, it's aluminum. Today, it's aluminum. Even computers today, they use computer, parts of the computer is aluminum. So do you see? So we are contributing to the global supply chain.
Okay. Okay. Now, Belle Air Bauxite Mine, it commenced its production in third quarter of 2018, as you also just mentioned, right? And it was expected to have created direct and indirect jobs of like 3,500. That was the equation that was given. So how far has the company succeeded so far? And what's the progress? Have you achieved your target yet, or are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm still there. The company has created a lot of jobs during the construction phase and during the production phase. The construction phase, we have 96% of employees are Guinean employees, are local. So 4%, about 4% are expatriates. So among the 96%, we have 56% that are from the local communities.
Okay.
That are from the local communities where the project, where the mine is located. And apart from the recruitment aspect, the employment aspect, we do training. We send young people abroad in Ivory Coast, in the neighboring countries. We train them, and after their training, we employ them in a system. And we also train, this is what we call local content. We also train young people from the local communities to be able to create their own enterprises and supply materials to the company.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
For example, we train electricians, welders, mechanics. When they are trained, they create their own workshop, they create their own enterprise, their own SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises. So they provide services to the company. So this is how we work with SMEs.
Right. So you're actually completing the circle. You're like actually educating people and then completing the circle, which is really interesting, actually.
Yes, exactly.
So if we still talk about the number, if I was to still talk about the number and you say 3,500, have you achieved that mark, or are you below or above that mark? If I was to just quantify.
No, the 3,500, I think that was, yes, that was during the construction phase. After the construction phase, most of the companies went back. There were not that much activities. So we came down to 1,700 employees.
All right. Now
700 employees for the production.
Okay. Now I've also read that at the heart of Alufa's communication strategy, you support sustainability and higher social and environmental standards. So when we distinguish Alufa from other mining companies, what are the methods which enable you to achieve the goal, and how sustainable are they?
Okay. Now in my communication strategy, I use the 5 trends in order to build up my communication strategy to support sustainability. And the first one is creating an environment to effective stakeholder dialogue. As I was saying, we have the local communities who are our stakeholders. We have the government of Guinea who are stakeholders as well. We have the employees that are stakeholders. Are you getting me?
Yes, I am.
Yes. So we have the shareholders who are part of the stakeholder. So the first trend that I use is creating dialogue, various stakeholders, engaging them into the project, into the mine. And the second one is using transparency to build trust. Because whenever there is transparency, the stakeholders will be willing to engage into the process of the project. So the first one is creating dialogue, an environment for effective dialogue. And the second is using transparency to build trust. And the second one is integrating communications in order to enhance sustainability. That is, not only communicating to the stakeholders, but the stakeholders should be able to communicate to the company. This is why it means integrating communications. Okay, to enhance sustainability efforts, because as we communicate with the stakeholders, we can analyze it. And the fourth part is prioritizing internal communications. Prioritizing internal communications, because internally we have various departments. And these departments are government relations department, community relations department, shareholders relations department, and we also have the human resource department that is related to the employees. So we ensure that within the business, we have an internal communication system that will be able to support the employees and be able, and for them to become an ambassador of the company, to be able to share what the company is doing. And the fifth part is how we can measure our impact, our communications impact with our stakeholders.
Okay. Now, these are the trends which you've spoken about in order to build sustainability and healthy relationship with your stakeholders, who indeed are one of the most important key members of any organization, and I understand that. But you also say that your communication strategy deals with highest environmental standards. So, while it is mining at the heart of everything that we're talking about, and obviously, if not practiced properly, it can create a lot of damage to the environment at large, right? So, what are the measures that you take in order to ensure that? How do you have a sustainability for the environment as well? This is the ecosystem. This is the ecosystem of the company that you just explained to me with these 5 trends that you enable a healthy ecosystem within the company. But now I'm talking to you about the external environment, which is, the surroundings. How do you ensure that you have that at your best interest?
Yes, we, as a mining company, we have a system, a mining system called the surface miner, because we are exploiting the land in order to get the bauxite, to get the ground, the land, the materials, the mineral resources in order to be exported, which is the bauxite. And we have what we call, we don't do explosion system. We do a surface mining system. That means when the surface miner collects the ground and put it into the ship, that once we have exploited a field, we replant the trees that were there. We do replanting. This is what we call rehabilitation in order to protect the environment. We do rehabilitation. So each time we finish with one pit, one area, one field, one site of the mine, we go to the next place. What we do, we rehabilitate the area with trees. And how do we rehabilitate the area with trees? We have a nursery. We take samples of the trees that were planted there before. We put them in a nursery. So we collaborate, we ask the communities to develop nurseries. We employ them, the community themselves are employed in order to be able to build nurseries. So once these nurseries grow, we ask the communities to participate, to be engaged in the process of doing the rehabilitation. So it is not only the company, but the community themselves are involved in the rehabilitation process. During the recent season, for example, in July, August, and September, is the time that we do the rehabilitation process. The communities are involved, we recruit them because to know the species that were there, the plants that were there. So they themselves, they planted. We also do the monitoring for the chimpanzees. Okay. For the chimpanzees, for example, yes, we do the monitoring for the chimpanzees because we do it in such a way that we protect them. We protect them. Once we do the planting, these animals can come back and live where they were living before. So internally, this is a strategy that we use in order to involve the communities in the rehabilitation process of the mine that we have exploited, because we are conscious that the mining has its positive and negative aspect. And the negative aspect may be on the environment. So how do we do to minimize, to mitigate the impact, the negative impact on the environment? Because once we do mining, we are destroying the environment. But what do we do next? What our plan, environmental plan? This is what we already have. Our environmental social plan that has been approved by the Guinean government, and it has been approved with the IFC, International Monetary Fund. With the World Bank, it has been approved by the World Bank. And in Guinea, in 2018, we were considered as the best mining company in terms of environmental protection and recruitment in Guinea.
Okay. Now,
we were designated by the World Bank and by the Ministry of Mine in Guinea.
That's actually pretty interesting to know that you take care of not just your internal ecosystem, but also the environment at large. And thus your communication strategy actually focuses on that. So that's pretty impressive. Now, I'm just going to move on to my last question, and which is regarding, so now the times of pandemic, right? All companies are having to let go of their employees. What is the equation with at Alufa? Like how many do you have to have you had to let go of a lot of employees? Has it, how badly has it impacted Alufa mining? You know, the pandemic and the situations with the employees, what has been the number that you've had to let go?
Yeah, the situation when COVID-19 started earlier 2020, it impacted most of the companies in Guinea, especially the mining companies. But it didn't really affect because we have our own port, we have our because all the bauxite is transported by sea. It goes by sea. So in terms of work employment, the company put in place a system in order to preserve employment for employees, because it was a difficult time to be able to sack employees. It couldn't have been good because these people, they had to feed their own families. So what the company put in place a system, and all the measures related to COVID-19, washing of hands, temperature taking, distancing, all these measures were put in place. But another aspect, in order to preserve the employment of employees, we put in place a rotational system. That means if, for example, in a department, there are 2 persons working, and the 2 persons cannot work at the same time, one will go on leave, one will work from home, and the other one will stay at site to work. So after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, he will go home, work from site, and the one that was working from home will go on site. So we're doing a sort of a rotation on site. So this helped the company to be able to maintain all the employees at once, for the employees to save their jobs at once. So this was one of the systems that we put in place.
Okay, that's pretty interesting actually. So I'm assuming you did not have to let go, you did not have to sack a lot of people or anybody in that as a matter of fact.
No, not at all, not at all.
That's pretty
No,
impressive, actually.
no.
That's pretty impressive. So that's pretty much it from my side, Zuba. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
What I would like to say, I think this is a great opportunity to be able to, I would like to thank you, for this opportunity given to me to be able to share my experience and what's going on in my company, with you. I think it was very much interesting for me to be able to share. So I would like to say thank you very much for this interview. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Zuba. Thank you for being on the show. This was Zuba Viarogi with us on Skilling's News Moment. And Zuba is the Corporate Communications and Public Relations Manager at Aluminium Mining Limited. Thank you, Zuba, for giving us your time and being with us on the show. Thank you.
Skilling's Mining Reviews Insider is sponsored by
OPTIMISE is a resources consulting and advisory group that provides independent advice, consulting and training to mining and exploration companies, their advisors and investors. OPTIMISE, fresh thinking, fresh growth. Minnesota Power, energy forward. Our vision, delivering 100% carbon-free energy by 2050. Minnesota Power, energy forward.